Monday, March 11th, 2019, meeting of the Canton Local Board of Education. If you please stand for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. Lord, thank you for the opportunity to come before you and do the business of Canton Local Schools. Be with us as we make the decisions for the administration, the student body, and the community. Allow us to do the right thing in your name, we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Hamilton?
Here.
Mr. Knight?
Here.
Mr. Schaefer?
Here.
Mr. Brothers? Here.
All right. Will someone like to make a motion to adopt the agenda?
So will we adopt the agenda? So I'll second.
All right. Any questions? If not, roll please.
Mr. Brothers?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Schaefer?
Aye.
We come to approval of the minutes. Someone will make a motion to approve the minutes as written, waiving the reading of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as written and waive the reading.
I'll second.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Schaefer?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Brothers?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
And Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Brings us to the approval of invoices.
I make a motion that we pay the bills. Second.
Any questions? No? Roll, please.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Brothers?
Aye.
Mr. Schaefer?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
That brings us to the school report.
It is Canton South's turn to present, and we have two programs we would like to highlight this evening. I'll introduce the first. It's our Youth Leadership of Stark County representatives, Bobby Freshour and Gartenbush. So take it away, guys.
Hello, so we're here to talk about the Youth Leadership Academy. So I'm on, and this is Bobby. And so for our purpose, the purpose of the Youth Leadership Academy is to make students and young adults want to stay in Canton South or in the Stark County community, because they've had this like growing development of having the older generation stay in Canton South or stay in Stark County while the younger generation is moving off to go to bigger cities. So the goal of the program is to encourage students and young adults to stay in Stark County and to not just go off to different cities. And what the Youth Leadership Academy is, two students from the sophomore class of a boy and a girl are chosen from each school district, school from Stark County. They're choosing to go to represent their school and like we talk about different issues that happen in our school dealing with race and just anything about the government and things like that. So we leave I think it's the second Wednesday of every single month, we go off to a different retreat. So these are the different themes that we had. So we have Community Impact Day, economic development, healthcare, diversity, and we're talking about different issues that our schools could work on. That our schools could work on as a community and to better our schools to have just the best possible education that we could possibly have. So, and some of the favorite days that we had was for our government day, we went down to the courthouse and we got to experience the different opportunities like of just the judicial side of the government. And we also got to sit where the city council was. So that was a really cool opportunity where we all got to sit and play different roles.
And these were the places we visited. We visited a lot of places. It was actually very interesting. They would take us all around all of Stark County. A lot of very diverse places too. Like even from like the Chamber of Commerce is where that's where we would start at most of the days. And we would even come to like Claredale Farms to like farms around Stark County, and that was interesting too. A lot of perspective you can see, and they're all the students there are interested in different career fields. So some students like some days better than others. This was whenever we were at the ticket company. This was right in front of their headquarters up in North Canton. They have a lot more they want to do with the program, and they actually wanted originally they just wanted to have this a 1-year program, but they want to extend it to till we graduate. And this summer we're gonna have like volunteer groups as well, and we still have to pick 2 more incoming sophomores as well, so that's one thing we have to do. And
Some things that we've learned from this experience is how we can improve our school district as itself and see all the different like opportunities that other schools have. Like I didn't realize that Jackson, they have 5 different foreign language classes they offer, and for us we only have 1. And we also learned about the different AP programs like different schools offer, and it just shows you how it just shows you how awesome these like kids are, because I don't know, like I made a lot of friends from everyone, and it just like makes you understand like that, I don't know, Stark County is not as small, and it just makes you really appreciate Stark County as a whole, and it makes you just want to stay in Stark County and not go off. Because when we went to the Onesto in downtown, I never knew like the Onesto building was so beautiful, and it just made me want to stay in Canton instead of venturing off, because I always thought about like going off to college and just not, and leaving Ohio and not staying anywhere here. But this program has made me feel that I want to stay here and make the community as best as it can possibly be.
any questions? It's an awesome program. That's all I can say. I really look forward to the sophomores that come in. I'll tell them all about it.
We're just really happy these 2 are representing us. They had on their one slide there the guinea pigs, and
Yeah,
when
right.
it came to Mr. Moore and myself, we were looking at it like, well, there's not much here, because they were starting from scratch, and we were trying to figure out who to select, but I think it's worked out, as you guys can see, pretty well for everybody. Good representation for our school. Our second presentation, Mrs. Barb Elsass in the Family Consumer Science Program. Just want to highlight a little bit of their program and things that are going on.
Good evening, I'm Barb Elsass. I'm the Family and Consumer Sciences teacher here at the high school. I'm so happy that I'm able to present tonight because it's a program that I'm so passionate about. I live it, breathe it every single day. I was so fortunate to have these 3 cheerleaders to promote the program for me. This is Abby Richardson, Caroline Snyder, and Hannah Huffman. There's a lot of misconceptions about family and consumer sciences. People think it's the old home ec that we used to have when I was growing up. It has changed so much, so they're gonna let you know. Did you know?
So did you know family and consumer sciences provide students with the knowledge they need to be healthy and productive adults. Whether they are going to college or pursuing a career, students need to be equipped with the knowledge to live independently. From preparation of nutritious meals and financial literacy, family life and career planning, family and consumer sciences prepares future generations for success with knowledge they can't live without. Did you know family and consumer sciences is a critical part of the educational curriculum? Research demonstrates that parents strongly desire classes and instruction to prepare their children with practical knowledge they need to live independently. Family and consumer sciences is uniquely positioned to provide students with this practical knowledge.
Did you know family and consumer sciences is a strong and growing profession, with many available jobs both currently and projecting into the future?
Did you know high school students have a lot on their academic plate, from Common Core classes to ACT and SAT scores, but are they leaving high school equipped with the knowledge they need to be healthy and productive adults? From personal finance, financial management, and nutritious meal preparation to career path planning and independent living, family and consumer sciences provide students with the knowledge they can't live without. Did you know that family and consumer sciences classes support all core classes by incorporating math, science, history, and English into its curriculum? However, despite supporting the core classes, FCS offers so much more.
Did you know FCS are the only classes where students can honestly say they will use the knowledge they gain now and in the future? FCS students say, when will I ever use this?
Did you know across the country, adults are paying to take adulting or life skill classes because they were never taught how to cook, sew, iron, or wash clothes? What adults are paying for, we are offering here at the high school for free.
Did you know FCS brings in community leaders, businesses, and colleges to speak to students about leadership skills, ethics, mental health issues, and information on college and careers?
Did you know Family and Consumer Sciences supports the STEM curriculum? The FCS curriculum is infused with science, technology, engineering, and math concepts, which helps build in baseline skills that are necessary for success in STEM. FCS program can and do stimulate interest in STEM, guide students into these career fields, and expand employability for science-oriented students.
Did you know that 2/3 of Americans are overweight or obese? Family and Consumer Sciences teaches students about nutrition and how to eat healthy so that this generation learns to combat obesity and passes their knowledge on to their kids.
Did you know FCS is knowledge you can't live without?
Thanks, ladies, for representing us in the state cheer competition yesterday and then turning around and coming here today. Just for Mrs. Elsass in her second year, and now that we're doing scheduling, we're getting overrun with students requesting and wanting her programs, wanting to take her classes, and the way that it's grown and just, being in the second year, really excited about the things that she's doing and the different activities. It's always a buzz. So thank you, Mrs. Elsass.
Great job, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the treasurer.
The only thing on my report tonight is the monthly financial reports. You want to turn to TA1. Page 1 is the cash reconciliation for month of February. Our total deposit accounts were $7,351,066.65, and our total investments were $9,752,054.87, and our reconciled balance after outstanding items is $16,936,068.22. Page 2 of the report is a list of all of our investments. These are all operating investments now, as our construction investments, we spent that balance down. Have most of the bills paid on the high school now. But the $9,752,000 on page 2 matches the U.S. Bank operating investment account on the reconciliation. Page 3 is our monthly comparisons for February. First 3 columns there are this year through the end of February compared with last year. Biggest difference, as we continue to talk about there, is our insurance claim. We're about $1.5 million higher this year than last year. That's directly attributable to the insurance money that we've received thus far. It's expected we'll receive close to about another $1 million for that. Our contractor's finalizing the report, getting all that information to the insurance company, hoping to have that closed out by the end of the fiscal year, so that way we get a better read on that. We will have a little bit remaining in the summer. We're gonna come back and replace the floors that were damaged. We didn't want to replace those at the time, so that way we can delay the start of school. But that's the biggest difference in our revenues this year compared to last year. On the expense side, that's the biggest difference as well. We spent $1.4 million over what we spent last year at this time. Again, we spent about $1.5 million on the insurance claim. They send us the money, we have to pay the bills for it, so that's the biggest difference there. Comparing our estimates to our actuals through February, that line item, those same 2 line items in the revenue and expenses are major differences again. Other than that, we're within our estimates. Our fund balance for the general fund ended the month at $10,962,232. At the end of February last year, we had $10,472,147. And then at the bottom, you have a list of all of the other significant funds in the district. 2019, the end of February, compared to the same balances as 2018, the end of February. That's it for my report tonight. I recommend the financial reports for approval.
communications. Students of the month.
We are fortunate that we have one of our two Wildcats of the month from February. Barry O'Brien will step forward, please. Ariel is the daughter of Robert and Danielle Bryan. She has been treasurer of the class of 2019 for 4 years, treasurer of Tri-M, student director in symphonic choir at SOS, NHS and NCHS member of Social Justice Club, has been involved in bowling and soccer, concert choir, SOS, sophomore, junior, and senior years, and symphonic choir. She has helped out at church camp for the past 2 years, and the Canton Idol singing organization. Through this group, she has not only sang to numerous amounts of people, but have also been able to raise money through it for kids in need of instruments or lessons. On top of this, a group of us who are affiliated with Canton Idol sing at nursing homes during the Christmas time. After graduation, Ariel currently taking CCP classes at the University of Akron. Upon being accepted and making it into our honors college, she is planning to finish her 5-year plan that has started in the fall to major in aerospace engineering. After this, it is a big dream to have, hoping to move somewhere along the coast of Florida and work for NASA. The best thing about being a teen is the idea you can take on responsibility as an adult while not fully indulging in it. You're given the chance to grow up and see what adulthood is somewhat like, but you don't have to be considered one. As a teen, I have been able to take many CCP classes on campus and also will be involved in my high school. It's truly amazing. I'm so glad that I was given the opportunity to grow up a little, but still also to be close with friends and teachers from Canton South. The most important part of school, according to Ariel, is, other than getting good grades, is to become as involved as you can. Through my experience, I have been able to be involved in my different things such as SOS, speech and debate, our student body, and so on. It has allowed me to create bonds and friendship with people that I would not see on an everyday basis. By becoming more involved, I was given the chance to become the person that I am today. And the coolest thing that ever happened at school was to be able to do throughout my 4 years at Canton South is to be able to take classes at the University of Akron. Since I've known that I wanted to continue my education after school there for several years, I knew it was the greatest thing that I could do for my senior year. I have made so many friends and companions that will be by my side during the next 4 years as I work to get a bachelor's degree in aerospace systems engineering. It has been the opportunity of a lifetime. Congratulations, Ariel. Other Wildcat of the month is Jalen Merriweather, and Jalen could not be here tonight, but he's been involved in football, basketball, and track, as well as ceramics and painting. His involvement in the community has been with football youth camp and basketball youth camp. And he hopes to go to Muskingum and major in sports, fitness, science, and would also be playing football as well. The hashtag that would summarize his school experience would be grateful. I'm open and enrolled, so just to be able to be a part of Canton Local and all the great people in the community I've had to come up to me I've never spoken to, and just telling me good game and congrats, and it really makes you think of how much people actually care that you made an impact. I also feel relationship with my teachers, coaches, and classmates also made it the best high school experience ever. The best thing about being a teen is really getting ready to live the adult life, so you get more freedom, but you also have your parents being there, which is also good. The most important part of school is, of course, getting educated, but being part of things, getting relationships with new people, and just having fun. So when you see Jalen, tell him congratulations as well.
Thank you. Congratulations. All right, we'll move on to committee reports. Athletic Council?
Yeah, Athletic Council did meet, and what Mr. Harms kind of went over, they're trying to streamline a lot of their paperwork when they're doing fundraisers and when they're buying equipment and doing everything. So there's a lot of streamlining of that going on. And just kind of ended the winter sports and getting ready for spring sports, and just talking to coaches, and just always some good conversation there at the athletic council meeting, getting all the coaches together there and talking to them, so. But nothing major took place, just kind of streamlining some things with the athletics.
Okay, thank you. Student representatives.
Am I going first? Sure. Okay. We just had kindergarten registration this past weekend, and some of our NHS members volunteered there. It was a really good time. I liked making crafts with our new school district members. They were really nice and cute, and I think they're going to be very proud of them in the future. It's crazy because I think they're the graduating class of 2032, which is like, that's crazy. And then with that, our honor societies are getting ready for like our inductions in the future, right? So we're gonna have like all those tapping ceremonies and all that good stuff. So we're really looking forward to our upcoming senior class of community leaders. Coming up this week, tomorrow we have our band concert and solo and ensemble recital. Since solo and ensemble was unfortunately canceled because of the winter weather, to maintain like our membership in Triumph, we still do have to perform those things. So, you know, come out and like listen to some cool music tomorrow night. And then this Thursday and Friday, our BPA competitors are heading down to Columbus to compete in the state competitions. So, you know, I want to wish luck to all of those people going out.
Okay, so on March 1st and 2nd, the speech and debate team sent 2 mighty competitors to the state tournament, which was actually at Jackson, so that was very convenient. And we both competed in congressional debate. We started off with around 230 people, and it got whittled down to 16, which is crazy. It was a weekend of approximately 15 hours of debate, I think, in the span of a day and a half. So that's a lot. But it was really fun, and we had a good time. And it was a pretty successful state tournament for us, so that was really good. So if you see Skylar Dent, please tell her congratulations for competing. She's a junior, so she has a year left. It was my last run, and I'm quite sad about it. But yeah. And we're also preparing for the talent show, which is on March 21st, next week, super close. So Triumph is really excited to put that on. We have a great panel of judges this year. We have Mr. Kennard, so we're really diversifying it. We're getting some extra opinions in there. So that's very exciting. And I think that is it. Track and field has begun. I've heard, I'm not there, but I've heard it's going super well. I always see everybody running out, very exciting. And besides that, there's just a lot of things wrapping up before graduation, which is coming up before we know it, so.
Well, thank you. If our presenters would like to go.
You guys would like to leave.
If you'd like to leave also.
Yeah, you don't have to stay, it's okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, Jeremy, you have to say. He's not here. Boys. All right, thank you, Liz. All right, facilities.
Just a couple updates on some things that are still happening here. We're currently working with NOC on a corrective resolution to the sidewalk issues that were out in front of the high school. That's an ongoing resolution there to work on that with them, because thing is who's paying for it, but it wasn't right the first time, so we're really not gonna pay for it the second time. So we're working on them with that. First and second floor hallways in area A will be replaced in June by Bengal flooring. They were out yesterday?
Yes.
They were out yesterday.
No, today, I'm sorry.
Yeah, today it was, yeah. Yesterday was Sunday. They were out today, and figured out where the floor is going to start being removed in the hallways, and so we got that all worked out. So when school's out, they will be replacing all the rubber flooring in the first floor and second floor hallways, and a couple classrooms too, Chris, I believe.
I
Are
believe the
all
classrooms are
done?
done. There's one classroom that we're looking at to do some corrective work in.
Okay, all right. Taylor Company should be on site as soon as the weather cooperates to fix the landscaping on the north side of the building here, where they have all the trucks parked and everything. So they'll be out here getting the grass seed put in, new seed and strawed over there where they were at. Took possession of the corner building this month down on Ridge and 800. We have worked out a plan for the person that is that is renting the building, that he'll be able to rent it for the next few months. I think we have until the end of May.
Yes.
The end of May, he'll be able to relocate his business, and then we will be looking at, with the old administrative building and the 2 garages here, looking at getting those torn down here this summer. Also continuing to look at options in the stadium improvements, including the track repair. Obviously, getting the track repaired depends on the weather, so that we're gonna play that weather game here to get a few areas on the track repaired, and looking at throwing some areas, and as far throwing areas, getting them done, and then obviously we're still having discussions about the press box and talking to a couple different contractors about the press box, getting it taken down and a new one built there. So we're still in the process of talking about that right now. So that's really about it. We do have some issues going on out in the, if you walked across the parking lot on the sidewalk, on the east side of the building, you got the drive coming up, but it's all the sidewalk that was poured in July. If you look out there and you see it, it's a mess. It's a mess. So there's we're kind of holding on to that. NOC is involved, the concrete company is involved. There's tests being done on all the concrete out there. We haven't really got any finalized results yet of what those, the problem is, but if you see it, it's all spalling off the top. You see, it just absolutely looks terrible. And the sad thing about it is the fix is gonna be a total mess when we do determine and when they do take on the responsibility. I mean, they'll have to cut, drive, take asphalt out, take all the concrete out, put all the concrete back in with the curb, put asphalt back in. I mean, it is, and it's on both sides of that sidewalk. So it's a huge, huge mess. And but we'll keep you informed of where we're at with it. And we're still waiting to hear from the concrete company what their tests are showing. And then if we have to get a test done, we'll get a test done too, a core test of the concrete to see what's going on. So not a good thing. Not a good thing. So we'll keep you guys informed on what's happening with that.
Thank you. Curriculum?
I think things are going a little bit better on curriculum than
Concrete.
concrete. Curriculum instruction, you can see we've got have some resources in the community room this evening. They've been here for a while. We are currently reviewing resources for science in grades 9 through 12, and in social studies for grades 5 through 12. So in April or May, we'll be presenting to the board what those resources will be for approval for use in those grade levels. We will also in May be looking at some resources for fine arts in visual, instrumental, and vocal, where gaps are and what we need to purchase for those areas. That will remain, what will remain for next year then will just be kindergarten through grade 3 social studies. We're holding off a year in that area simply because Walker has a lot of self-contained grade levels and a lot of teachers with multiple new content areas and resources they're learning simultaneously. So we're putting a hold on social studies this year, giving them another year to wrap their heads around writing. Writing will be new for them next year. Professional development, we did have Mr. David Karp from Envision come in and provide some additional support for grades 1 and 2 math teachers this month. And it's hard to believe how quickly time goes as you get older, I guess. That's what this is all about, I don't know. But we're already planning, I'm already planning for May and August professional development. And even looking at next year at large, how does professional development look on all of those days next year and what happens. So working with some people in central office and building administrators, getting input from them about what the needs are. And then finally, summer camp is also being planned for students completing grades K through 4. So after spring break sometime, you'll see that being advertised on the website and registration information going home to families at Walker. And that's it.
Any questions? Thank you. All right, finance audits.
We have not had a meeting yet, but our audit, I just got a phone call today, our audit is completed, so all the board members should be receiving an email from the auditors with the report listing of each of you individually to see if you'd like to attend the post audit, or not, we can waive it. You still will get a copy of the report, and, I can go over those results either individually with you, or we can meet in an executive session to go over them before the report's released. Once it's released, then we can talk about it in open session, but we can't talk about the items yet until it's released by the state auditor's office. So the plan is to schedule a meeting in April for the finance committee to go over those results, and then start looking at the May forecast already. Our updated 5-year forecast to talk about.
Thank you. All right, superintendent update.
Yeah, always got to start out with congratulating Ariel, and I wish Jalen could have been here. He's such a fine young man, and I wish he was here, but obviously he had something else going on. But two great kids. The Lion King Jr. This Thursday, Friday, Saturday was a huge success. There was just a little under 400 people attended each one of the showings. There were 3 showings. So that was huge. Kids involved. There was 32 cast members, 36 crew members, 14 high school helpers. A total of 82 students were involved with the whole production. So that's huge. That's getting a lot of kids involved. And I mean, the actual cast they've been doing this for months, practicing this for months. So Steph Atzinger, theatrical director, Angie Feller, music director, Amber Hirschberger, assistant director, and Kathy Farrell. Just can't thank them enough. The time that they put in, and they are just so amazing. When we had all of our elementary kids come in for the show last week, the thing that I think I was most moved by is having Mrs. Fatzinger and Mrs. Feller talking to the kindergartners, first graders, second graders, third graders, fourth graders about what it is, a production, what it is, when to clap, when not to clap, how to behave. These kids don't know. They've never been, a lot of those kids haven't been there. So that part there was just absolutely amazing. It was a teaching moment for those kids to come into this huge theater and to see these kids. And when they had the fourth graders in there, the third and fourth graders are in there, and they asked them how many of them can't wait till they get into middle school to do that. I think every hand in the auditorium went up. So really, really exciting that our kids could experience that. Well worth the busing to get them over there so they could see it all unfold. And we're really moving in that direction with our arts programs and drama and theater. So it's great. So we got the right people in those places too doing it. So it's going to do nothing but get better and better. Kindergarten, Canton Locals, first registration fair took place this past Saturday. We've done it different in the past, but kind of just, it blew it out of the water this weekend. It was from 9 to 11, had 71 registration folders that were passed out, 62 forms were returned of the 71, and 32 were from Walker Preschool, of those kindergartners that signed up. So it was just a huge success. We got to reach out. We did see some of the addresses where kids and families didn't show up, kind of know certain areas that we're going to have to get to those families to get these little ones registered sooner. You know, the thing about kindergarten is a lot of families wait until the last minute to get them registered. So you might have a burst of 20, 25 kids come August. Hard to plan when you only have, maybe you're planning on having 5 kindergarten teachers, and all of a sudden you get a burst of 25 kids coming in. Then you gotta possibly, at times, hire another kindergarten teacher. So we're gonna try to reach out to those 25, 30 kids that we think are still out there hanging and get them registered so we have a better number. But it was just a great program. All the kids got a Walker Wildcat sign to put in their front yard. They got a t-shirt that was awesome. They didn't have any of my size, but that's okay. They were given a book, and by Rotary, and I'm going to cover that when I get to Ann's, but they were given a book and kindergarten readiness on some points, and they were given a folder with a lot of information about kindergarten. So, you know, we had people there. We had Willie the Wildcat was there. I got my photo taken with Willie, which was pretty cool, and I got Willie to sign it too, so I'm going to get that framed and put that in my office. But Willie was there, and there's just a lot of people to thank for this here thing. First of all, Karen Vraybeck
Karen promoted this in other school districts around the county. And she said, we got to do this in Canton local, and Karen kind of took it and ran with it, and was very, very successful with it. So a big thanks to Karen Vraybeck for organizing, planning, and the communication of this event. Both Deputy Usley and Deputy Antonora were there, seeing the kids and meeting the families, which is great when you get these little people about this big and they see a police officer there, that was awesome that they were both there. Also, Willie was there. Big thanks to Willie and Todd from Life Touch Photography. Life Touch does our class photos here, but they go above and beyond for our district here. When we did the Kris Kringle here at Christmas time, Life Touch was here. He took photos like this, put them in folders for families, free. Doesn't charge anybody anything. So you know what, Life Touch goes above and beyond as far as they're a great partner with us, great community partner. They were here at kindergarten registration, took pictures, so it was really, really a great event, and next year will even get bigger, so that's great. Countywide SRO meeting, you probably got my call. I wanted to give everybody heads up about that. I didn't want to put fear in anybody as far as if you saw 20 police cruisers out here at the high school, but they had their countywide SRO meeting here, was hosted, and there were 24 resource officers here for the meeting. Several of them stayed after the meeting. I volunteered to take them around on a tour, and so we had several of the officers go on a tour of the building and were just amazed at our building. Many of them were just like, wow, you guys are so fortunate down here in Canton local to have this, and so that was really, really nice. This is a neat statistic we got. Community walkers here at Red Ash Gym. We started this back when, and February we had 41 walkers who came 231 times to walk on our track. So it's great. What a great group of people. And one other thing that's not on my notes that I had, CDC survey. We're going to be doing the CDC survey again through the State Department of Health and Starr County Health Department. CDC wants data. They want to do this for the next 5 years, so they want data. It's been a quiet year, thank God, around the county right now. It's been going well, and I think it's opened everybody's eyes up to the mental health resources we need in our buildings and getting kids the help they need and kids reaching out when they do need help. So, but we will be doing the survey here at the high school. We'll be doing it on May 8th. At the middle school, it's going to be grades 7 through 12. We're going to do the survey again. And at the middle school, it will be May 9th. Again, we will put communication out to all the parents about the survey. If the parents want to come in and view the survey, they can go to the middle school or come to the high school. We cannot give them a copy of the survey, but they can come in here and look at the survey, and the kids can opt out too. The parents can sign a letter to opt the kids out from taking the survey. So it's totally voluntary, volunteer survey, but all the information goes straight to the Ohio Department of Health and into their center, and then it goes to the Center for Disease Control, and then they take that information there, and then they'll take that data over the next 5 years. So that will be happening. One other thing, I would like to congratulate one of our student reps, Dinah. Dinah was just informed, and Dinah competed, and Dinah obviously won a full scholarship to Ohio State, the Ohio State University, all expenses paid for 4 years. So congratulations, Dinah. And she's still waiting for a few other things to happen here, but we are so proud of you and proud of both of you. Whoa, that was a big yawn there, girl. You are catching up, aren't you? That was good. That was good. So, congratulations. Moving on to our career tech. Nick Wyatt, a recent Wildcat of the Month, one of our Wildcats of the Month, and Senior Teacher Academy over at Perry, placed 8th in the state STEM lesson planning at Educators Rising competition. Also, Kelsey Madden placed 3rd in humanities lesson planning, which qualifies her to compete in the nationals in June. The Akron Zoo interviewed 8 of our seniors, and Taylor Bragg from Perry High School was selected to be this year's senior intern at the Akron Zoo. Also, our animal science and construction students are partnering with Stark Parks to support the Earth Day celebration in April, both by volunteering at the event and also building some pieces of equipment that will be used at the event. Our Auto Technologies program has been invited to be a part of the event at Sandy Valley High School during the prom week, where they work with the AAA, Ohio Automobile Club, and conducting vehicle maintenance inspections on student vehicles. This has been done to make sure that the student vehicles are safe and to get them to understand their vehicle and any safety issues that they may have. Canton South High School, 2019 graduation is scheduled for May 24th at 7 p.m. in the Red Ash Gym. Tickets are needed to enter the ceremony. Students have been notified at our senior meeting, and we'll be given a written reminder of this. Lindsay Brandt, our small animal science teacher, was honored at Canton South High School as Canton South High School teacher rep, and for the repository this month. And Larry Kennard was honored as our difference maker in February. Thank you to these two wonderful individuals and all the past honorees for going above and beyond for our students. Canton South Advanced Education Foundation will hold their yearly meeting on March 19th at 5 or at 6? I'm sorry, I heard two different times.
I scheduled the room for 5, but we start at 6.
Okay, starts at 6. Okay, there we go. That's why I got the
Yeah,
scheduled the room for 5, got it at 6. Okay, at 6 o'clock here in the community room. Please think about becoming a foundation donor. Faircrest Memorial Middle School update. Students of the month for March were selected for their character of perseverance. 5th grade, Abigail Stinchcomb and Brandon Walters. 6th grade, Madison Wigan and Brody Nagel. 7th grade, Madison Vorshak and Zandon Lewis. 8th grade, Ruthie Haslam and Connor Schaffner. Congratulations to those students. Our math team competed in the Stark County Math Tournament for grades 5 through 7. Our division had 6 teams. Congratulations to 5th grader Landon White and 6th grader John Norris for their first place finishes. In the mental computation, 25 of the 45 participants received an award or a ribbon for their efforts. And an unbelievable day over at Massillon Washington High School. I mean, you want to talk about kids running everywhere. I mean, I would love to know what the numbers were. Does anybody, Jeremy, you have any idea of how many kids competed?
748, I think.
Okay.
800, it was the biggest this year. 802 total students,
800
and then
total
over
students.
200 volunteers.
200 volunteers, and then you know what goes along with all those students competing and those volunteers? A lot of parents.
Yes.
Yeah. I got my steps in that day when I parked, so it was good. It was great. What a great program and growing and so thanks guys for that. You guys do a great job with that. Our middle school drama club presented. Well, this is again The Lion King. We're going to hear about this a little bit. We're going to hear about this for a while. Family and friends and community this past weekend, 82 talented middle schoolers, enthusiastic crowd of 3 great shows, and it truly was great shows. Walker Elementary, Miss Ann Bartley. Mr. Ron Danella, chess club coach, completed a wonderful chess club season. Calvin Bergert, Mr. Bergert's son, little Calvin, went undefeated all season, even won his final match. So, Calvin, how about that? I love it. Walker students enjoyed a delightful Lion King performance Wednesday. Thanks to Faircrest students for a great show. Thanks, Nick Stefanovic, for arranging this event. Really, Mr. Stefanovic?
Well,
thank you.
I was going to plug it at the end, just say, hey, one more plug for Lion King Jr., but I do want to publicly thank the partnership with Arts and Start. We did volunteer. They do a matching grant, so we were able to do a matching grant with Arts and Start. Steph Vatzinger went over to the elementary. If you came, you saw some of those masks that were created. Some teachers did some writing at the elementary. The green room is filled with thank you notes from primary kids thanking individual characters in the Lion King. So if you make it back there, please go through and just read and laugh just at how they kind of thanked these actors. It's pretty cool. But the grant did help with the transportation. We were able to bus over K1-2 in the morning, 3-4 following, and then 5-6 in the afternoon. So, that cost was part of the grant. many of the families that came, it was because of that preview, and the kids on their parents saying, when are we going, when are we going, when are we going? Couple families were disappointed they couldn't get there on Thursday because they had to hear about it for another 24 hours. So anyway, it worked, and we hope to continue that in the future.
It was great, it really, really was great. And then I gotta let Mrs. Bartley give some kudos out for kindergarten registration too. She wanted to thank Karen Braybeck for the hard work making this event so successful, with a special thanks to Scott and Edie Hamilton Foundation for their generous donation to purchase shirts, the Rotary Club donation of the purchase of the books, and Once Upon a Child for their donation for the signs. So everything was free and it was paid for through donations. Without the community support, this event would not have been so successful. So thank everybody for that there. We do appreciate it. We really do. So thank you. Multi-County, Dr. Dale, core classes at Multi-County have been working with students on test-taking tips and end-of-course exam preparation. Many of the students at Multi-County, in addition to being credit deficient, are in need of test-taking strategies to increase their chances of obtaining enough end-of-course exams and points to graduate. So they're working on that. And the longer they have them, the better it is, really. You know, that's sad to say, but the longer you have them, the better it is for those kids. You know, the longer they're in, the longer they're away from their families. But that's great. Residential Treatment Center students recently participated in the community service activity that included stuffing envelopes for the Canton South Rotary Flag Project and placing Canton South Rotary stickers on the dictionaries to be given to Walker third grade students. So it's got them hopping over there. As far as athletic news, Hunter Miller competed in the state wrestling tournament and finished with a record of 1 win and 2 losses in the state competition. Dalton Fry made it to Columbus as an alternate, but was not able to compete. The Wildcat cheerleading competition team competed yesterday in the state competition in Columbus. For the 3rd year in a row, the ladies finished 12th in their division. They worked really, really hard for that, and they had a, you know, when you compete for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it better be perfect. You get 1 shot to do it. So you know what, they did a great job though. Other winter sports highlights, the 7th grade boys basketball team won the ABC regular season and tournament championship. Isaiah Dinger Mundell, Ethan Fricky, and Isaac Cloud all were EBC wrestling champs in their weight class for Faircrest. Our 9th grade boys basketball team won the EBC championship this season. Boys basketball won their first tournament game in 3 years, which is a step in the right direction. Colton Clark advanced to the district round of the state tournament for bowling, 1 step away from the state competition. Girls basketball team advanced to the district semifinal at Lake High School. They finished the season at 20-5. They really could have switched, they could have gone the other way at Lake very easily, but we won't get into that. We don't get into what officials do or anything. It really could have. I'm not going to speak of that. It's on that one. Megan Mitchell was named ABC Player of the Year, and there's just a lot more awards coming for Megan down the road here. She just had a tremendous, tremendous season for that young lady, and there's going to be a lot of awards coming to her. You know, it was a different winter. We had 3 new coaches this winter, and we have a lot of young student athletes, and I think the future looks really, really bright for where we're going. So that's exciting. So that's it. Superintendent update.
Thank you. All right, do we have any hearing in public?
No.
And we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Okay, resignation, item A. We have 1, Renee Delauder, bus driver. Recommendation for the board to accept the letter of resignation for Renee. Employment, we have some volunteer track coaches, math tutor. I will go down to item number 4 under B. Russell Dawson was hired as our groundskeeper. We kind of moved that 4-hour position. We made that a full-time position here. Russell Dawson has taken that job on, leaves an afternoon custodial position to be the groundskeeper, effective March 5th, so that's underway. Also, I'd like to go down to Margaret Hersig, Maggie. She has been hired as our psychologist for next year. Rick is leaving, retiring, and you know, you gotta get out of the gate early looking for school psychologists. They are really, really hard to come by. We did interview 5, but she had 6 years experience, local, came highly recommended. She's been subbing over at Perry as a school psychologist over there. She just worked for 5 years, had babies, 1, 2, 3, and decided to come back to work because her kids are getting a little bit older now. But just a very, very sharp lady. I think she's gonna be a great addition to our as a school psychologist to our district, so really, really good. Recommendation to approve the employment of personnel as far as for successful completion of all the requirements. Item 3, non-renewal of supplemental. It's that time of the year where we non-renew all supplemental 1-year contracts across the board. Recommendation of the board to do the non-renewal for supplemental contracts upon completion of the 2018-19 contract school year. Item D, gifts and donations. We love always getting this part. This is the best part. Mohawk Rebar Services, they donated a truck valued at $2,500. Canton South Band Boosters, $9,458.96. And I'm going to explain that money there. We're getting new band uniforms next year. When you're looking at a cost of band uniforms around $39,000. We did go to the Band Booster Club and kind of worked it out with them that, okay, you're gonna take on the concession stand. We need you to kind of come in and help out. So Alan and the Booster Club, they did a great job with the concession stand this year, the new concession stand. So we're going to them for 2 years in a row. What they're doing is we're taking payments from them for 2 years. They're paying half and the district is paying half for the new band uniforms. It's been 14 years, 15 years since we've had the uniforms. So really, really a nice uniform. They worked, they had a committee together to look at them, and then they came up with one and they actually made one. And so really, really nice uniforms. So we're excited. Our band members are up slightly, and we're hoping that they're gonna continue to grow too. So that's what that is there from the Band Booster Club. Altman donated $500 to our Altman Ambassador Program. They paid the stipend for us. And the mini group, Once Upon a Child, donated $1,000 to our kindergarten camp. So recommendation, board to accept those donations. Open enrollment policy, this time of the year, we go through with our open enrollment policy. As we do, as many school districts in Stark County do have open enrollment. This is a board approval. It's through the Ohio legislature that we gotta go through this, but it is my recommendation to the board that we continue to do open enrollment and approve the open enrollment from all districts here in Stark County. This year, I can tell you this, that April 1st through the end of April is our open enrollment will be open. We're looking at numbers right now in our classes. It'll be there's not gonna be many open enrollment students coming in this year. Our numbers are looking pretty steady here, and we're only gonna look at some open enrollment numbers to fill classes. We're very, very careful on open enrollment with our high school, because what happens is when you go to open enrollment with high school, you're gonna get kids who are credit deficient. And so we gotta be very, very careful. I'm great with kindergarten, first grade, lower grades of open enrollment, but then when you get to high school, we'll take them out of the gate at 9th grade, but anything after 9th grade, we try to steer away from because we gotta be careful. So my recommendation that we do approve that for the board. Public storm, item F, public storm and water drainage and water service easement. This is item F-1. This is a easement that we've been working with the township and working as far as getting this easement through over at Amos along the softball field there. Really doesn't impede the softball field at all. Had it gone through, had attorneys look at it, all good. We're all good for that. So recommendation that we approve, that the board approve the public storm, water drainage, and water service easement there over on that property. Items A through F for board approval.
All right, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve items A through F.
I'll second. All right, any questions? Roll, please.
Mr. Brothers?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Schaefer?
Aye.
All right, moving on. Board concerns the legislative, there's just a couple things that legislators started to move on. House Bill 22 requires the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission and the Department of Education conduct a study of certain school building amenities such as air conditioning, safety needs, and other amenities the commission sees as necessary. So it's just in the beginning stages, and so it's just an expansion of the Facilities Construction Commission, and just looking at what amenities we need to put in the buildings, and what extras that maybe we don't need. So they will be kind of clarifying that as they go along in this House bill. House Bill 23, it's the to authorize any student from a country or province outside the U.S. who holds an F1 visa to participate in interscholastic athletics. So that's a little bit of change there. You know, there's been some real controversy about what kids can come, and you know, are they being recruited, and what's happening. So now there has to be an F1 visa attached, and so it kind of clarifies that a little bit. But that again is just in the beginning stages, so who knows where that's going to go. Then there are two House bills, 83 and 89, basically dealing with bus issues. Bus cameras are now going to be able to be used as evidence when a person, you know, violates the law where a bus stops and they have to stop. So before, the cameras could not be used as evidence. Now they're going to try to create a law that allows that to happen. So I'm sure that's going to be pushed forward rather quickly. I think you've probably seen some of the situations in Cleveland where people have actually gone up on sidewalks and almost hit people going around the school bus. So hopefully that'll come into effect. And also they're going to make strict, House Bill 89 would make stricter penalties for people going around buses. So those bills, I'm sure, will be on a fast track. And then the Senate bill, there's a Senate Bill 4 to increase the amount of money is available to the Ohio Public Facilities Commission, about $475 million. So hopefully that gets pushed through, and there'll be more monies available for the commission to help schools improve their facilities. We'll see where that goes. But that again is one maybe for us to watch, because that's maybe important to us down the road. All right, so that's what I have from the legislative area. All right, are there any questions pertaining to the agenda items or board action? Okay, if not. We have some other business. In March, its law requires us the March before a superintendent's contract ends, we are to, if we deem necessary, to renew the contract for the superintendent. And so we've decided that's what we want to do, and so we have drawn up a contract for superintendent and Mr. Milano, and so we have met on it and discussed it and have it before us. So if someone wanted to make a motion.
I so move.
I'll second.
So we have a motion to accept the contract for Mr. Milano for 5 years. All right, any questions, discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Mr. Schaefer?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Brothers?
Aye.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Okay. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations and thank you.
And thank you very much. We appreciate what you do for us. All right, executive session?
I have other business I would like to mention.
Other business.
Right now, we have there is a mutual assistance agreement that we're working on with the township. We just, our attorney, and what the mutual agreement with the township is, we've always worked with the township on several items here. You know, they purchase salt at the minimum price that you can purchase bulk salt, and we've always purchased it from them, and we've worked with them. Equipment-wise, they've let us use equipment here for snow removal. It's been a great partnership with them. Whenever we need items, whether it's that we have to order things at our other schools, we can go through the township, they get it at the price that they get it for, their bid price. But so we have a mutual assistance agreement that we're working on with the township right now, and it's kind of in the areas of snow removal, or as far as snow and ice control, assistance when needed, joint salt storage facility. And this agreement will be a 5-year agreement. We just got it back from their attorney, Charlie Hall, and Mary Jo Shannon Slick. Finally, we got a copy of it back from Mary Jo. She's working with Charlie. So I think we will be ready to approve this. Everything looks great on it. And we're just happy that we can work with the township on this mutual assistance agreement, and we can get this baby put to rest and partner with them, continue this partnership with them. So, but I did want to mention that it is in the works. Like I said, we just got it. We kind of went over it today, Jason and I did. And now Mary Jo is submitting it back to Charlie. And then we will get this at our next board meeting. We'll get this signed and approved and put that in there. So, okay, thank you.
Good. All right, thank you. All right, any other business? All right, now,
Executive session?
Executive session?
Yeah.
Okay, we go into executive session for?
Just discussion, employment of an employee.
All right, discussion. Any action?
No.
No action? All right, someone like to make a motion?
I so move we go into executive session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Knight?
Aye.
Mr. Evans? Aye. Mr. Schaefer?
Aye.
Mr. Hamilton?
Aye.
Mr. Cole?
Aye. Well, thank you for coming, and again, you are welcome to stick around after the executive session if you like. If not, have a good evening.